Hey guys, we're out here with Jesse with Thumper Fab and JC checking out Barnwell Mountain Recreation Area. We've got a unique opportunity today with two Rangers behind us, both incredibly thumped out, thumping long travel suspension, 35-inch tires. We're out doing some shock testing today. And what do you think? 1500 or the XP 1000 going to get it done today?
Well, I'm a fan of the 1000, but you know 1500 is the new deal, so we're going to test it out.
It'll be interesting to see how that steel drive transmission handles these rocks. We're going to be out in mostly low-speed testing environment today. A lot of rock crawling, a lot of technical maneuvering. Interested to see how it does.
Okay, so spoiler alert, at the end of this video, we're going to do a little drag race between the 1000 and the 1500 to see who comes out on top. I mean, hey, why not? We did it with the Ranger 1500 and the Defender in that video. Be sure and check it out in the comments down below as well. And yeah, it was interesting to see which one was a little faster. Not just a little faster, a lot faster. But we're going to do the same with these, have a little fun with them. Why not? If you want to see more about the accessories to really make either one of these vehicles very, very trail capable, we'll have another comparison video of just the accessories and all the Thumper Fab items that we have on them. Be sure and check that video out down below. It's definitely worth the watch to get your Ranger thumped out.
So let's take a look at some of the basic specs on these two. The Ranger XP 1000 is a 999cc engine with 82 horsepower. Compare that with the XD 1500 and its 1498cc engine with 110 horsepower. Hauling capacity for the 1000 is right at 1,000 pounds in the bed, while the hauling capacity for the 1500 is right at 1,500 pounds in the bed. They've made that kind of easy to compare. Towing capacity, 2,500 for the Ranger XP 1000 and 3,500 for the 1500. That's a whopping 1,000 pounds difference there. So that's probably the biggest difference that we've seen in the specs so far between these two. Weight for the Ranger XP 1000 coming in just shy of 2,400 pounds, right at 2,387, while the stock weight for the 1500 is coming in at 2,900 pounds. So it's a good bit heavier machine, and we can definitely see that in the frame design. Of course, it's got one extra cylinder on the engine, a steel belt transmission. There's definitely some beefier components to this, and we can see that especially when it's rated for 1,000 pound more towing capacity. Now, both do have a CVT transmission. The biggest difference is the CVT transmission on the Ranger 1000 is a rubber belt driven transmission that we've all known for the entire history of the Ranger lineup. And the 1500 has now gone to a sealed, oiled steel belt design. So it's not going to be the typical rubber belt that we're used to replacing. This is a steel belt, much more of an automotive type CVT transmission. This is a first for the Ranger. This is a first in the industry, so it's very interesting to see how this sorts out.
Okay, so you got the chance to drive both the XP 1000 and the brand new 2024 XD 1500 through the rock garden here. What'd you think?
Well, man, I hate to disappoint everybody, but the 1000 severely outperformed the 1500 as far as rock crawling goes.
Ooh, so the 1000, we've got a little bit of an edge right now is what you're saying in the rock garden.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could definitely see that outside of the vehicle too. I mean, both look like they did really well. Both since they've got long travel on them, they both rolling on 35s. They look like they had good ground clearance. Flexing through the rocks looked really good. But you could definitely see from the outside, I mean, you're really having to get a little bit more throttle on the XD 1500, whereas the 1000 just looked to just barely creep along.
Yeah, the clutching on the 1000 was way easier to ease over the rocks. As far as the transmission in the 1500, you have to give it an extra amount of throttle just to bump it over the rock.
Yeah, and guys, I know, hey, neither one of these machines were built for rock crawling. I get it. But if you get the chance, why not? So we're out here trying them. We're just seeing what it looks like, especially in some tight technical rocks. Well, you can see behind us, these are some pretty substantial rocks we've got here. So having the long travel and the suspension and all helps us, but what the machine does and the difference is pretty interesting to see. The steel drive transmission on that XD 1500 is a completely new transmission for Polaris, completely new to the side-by-side world and the UTVs. So it was really interesting just to see how that performed, especially against the XP 1000 that we've known and loved for a while now. So looks like the XP 1000 gets the leg up, at least in the rocks today. Maybe a little bit more tuning, a little bit more finagling with some transmission and some tunes and stuff like that on the XD 1500. We could get it there, because it is, I mean, it's a lot more power, it's a lot more engine than the XP 1000, but
just need to figure out how to utilize that power.
Yeah, just gotta get it to where you can manipulate it, so.
Get it figured out.
So, not only did we get to test out the long travel, we definitely put the rock sliders on both to the test in the rock garden. Both of these are Northstars. These are the fully loaded out versions of the 1000 and the XD 1500. So protecting those doors and plastics, pretty important. I'd say you probably hit some rocks with the sliders. What do you think?
Yeah, we really checked out the sliders, and even though our old sliders on our old version did really good, our new version that is totally boxed in did awesome.
Yeah, and the 1500, that machine is a completely different, completely different chassis, completely different engine, probably a little bit more weight than the 1000. So it looked like it hit those pretty good.
It hit them really hard. I felt it in my back, but it didn't even leave a dent in them.
Yeah, so that's a good test. And really, I mean, they're sacrificial pieces. We want to hit those. We want those to be what gets hit and dented and scraped, rather than those $5,000 doors on the 1000.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they even cost on the 1500. They're probably a lot nicer doors. They're probably a lot more, but
they are definitely worth the investment to protect all the plastics on the bottom of your vehicle.
yeah. So we've been out. We've got the chance to test the 1500 and the 1000. It looks like the Thumper Fab product did great on both. Tell me a little bit about what you thought being behind the wheel of the 1000.
Man, the 1000 did really great. It has a really smooth throttle response, and the suspension really performs really well, especially with our Thumper Fab Elite suspension system. Also, these steps were really great when I was getting in and out of the vehicle to help me step up into the vehicle.
Talk to me on the 1500. Again, looks like the suspension really helped. The 35s really helped with ground clearance. But what'd you like about the 1500 out there?
Man, these shocks are dialed in. I cannot believe how smooth they ride. Also, these rock sliders did their job. They took some hard hits on these rocks. And the nice new seats in this 1500 make it really a comfortable ride.
We're gonna do some more, but these, so far, have survived the rock garden. Some pretty gnarly rocks. Let's get them out on the trails. Do a little bit more high-speed testing. All right, so we've been out on the trails now. We've done some rock crawling. We've done the rock garden. Done a couple of high-speed runs on the main road here, and I don't know. Let's get your thoughts. What do you think?
Well, man, I think the 1500 outperformed the 1000 on the high-speed runs, and did really good in this little whoop section we had.
Yeah, the 1500 looks like it handled a lot of it really, really well. Just floated right through it. 1000 looked like it did too. What about in cab? Talk about in cab.
The 1500 was really quiet inside the cab compared to the 1000. The 1000 had some extra cab noise that was unwanted. And also the seats are softer in the 1500 than the 1000.
That's probably one of the biggest things I noticed. The seats in the 1500 are plush. Like really nice. Nice bolstering. My favorite thing probably about the interior of that cab is it has an armrest that is like right there. I mean, it just felt like you were just laid back cruising. And especially with the cab noise, that 1500 is just quiet. It purrs. It was purring in some of the low speed stuff. Even when we had it up at the high speed, we were just mawing down the trail. Just purred. So it was nice and quiet in the cab. It was comfortable. It's always a good ride. The 1000, I mean, yes, ride's great. Definitely a lot more noticeable on the cab noise on it. Okay, so yeah, the 1000 cab noise, whole nother story. It's definitely a lot louder inside the cab. We're turning a lot more RPMs, so it's very noticeable in cab compared to the 1500. Now, before this, I wouldn't have thought that much about the cab noise of the 1000, but when you're comparing it to this, it's just a completely different level. So take that with a grain of sand. All right, we've had them in the rocks. We've had them on the trail. We've had them in the wide open. What else can we do?
Need to find out which one's faster.
I like the sound of this. I'm picking the 1000. I know the 1500 technically has more horsepower, more cylinders, more cc's. It's got like everything going for it there, but I'm gonna pick the 1000. This has nothing to do with me picking the 1500 last time when we raced a Defender. I'm just gonna totally pick the Northstar. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat a CVT transmission. I'm not sure about the new steel belted transmission, but we'll see.
I know top speed, I could see the 1500 probably pulling ahead. We've got a little bit longer runway here than what we had back at the shop when we had our last little race with the 1500 and a Defender. But that 1000,
so far it's outperformed all day, so hopefully we'll get it beat with the 1500.
Only one way to find out. I'm feeling pretty good about my chances in the 1000 here.
Well, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be hard to beat me.
You do have more horsepower, I'll give you that.
Yeah, and better looks.
And better looks.
Yeah, look at this thing.
You think looks are gonna give you the speed you need? I'm feeling good about this. You ready? Who's going first? Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. You counting this down? Because I mean, I don't want you to claim I'm cheating.
3, 2, 1, go.
There we go. All right. Oh, it's pretty even right out of the hole there. I am totally pulling on him though right now. Whoa! What happened? Okay, so if you watch the video on us taking the 1500 out versus the Defender at the shop, be sure to check it out. You know what happened when the 1500 and the Defender raced. This one went a lot different than I thought it would. Off the line, pretty close. About halfway down, maybe halfway down our little course here. I totally smoked that belt, so. Went full limp mode on me, and then you totally just blew past it. But it looked like you were gaining, especially there at the end.
Yeah, I think it'd be a close race. We had some clutch tuning on the 1000, and maybe some clutch tuning on the 1500 as well.
Yeah, I probably got way too happy going down through there, but yeah, it's Hey, I get it. They're not drag race machines, but we're gonna try. I mean, we have to.
And the good thing about the 1500, you don't have a belt to smoke. So there you go.
Yeah, it hadn't smoked a belt, but it it has not loved the rocks.
It did not love the rocks at all.
It's probably been pretty awesome the rest of the day. Just cruising around, riding the trails. I've been incredibly impressed with the 1500.
Yeah, I think they're both really nice machines. Depends on what purpose you're purchasing it for, and you always want to put your Thumper Fab products on there to make it better.
Can't get any better than that. You want the best ride for either the 1000, the 1500, you know who to call. Thumper Fab, we can get you hooked up. So at the end of the day, if you're wanting to take your family out trail riding, you got 6 people that you want to take, both are great options. Plenty of room for gear, plenty of room for up to 6 people in the cab. Long travel suspension really turns these things into some trail capable rigs as we've seen today. And hey, either way, you can't go wrong. Drop us a comment down below. Let us know what you're riding. Let us know what trails you're hitting. We want to come out, see you on the trail, and hey, maybe race. We'll see you.